Hello, CUNA. This past Saturday, there was a town hall, and I wasn't able to make it, but from what I heard, was that Representative Melissa Durrant spoke about her support with the, let's see, with the restricted driver's license for Idaho, Senate Bill 1081, which was that was in 2023, her first year there, and yeah, it didn't go so well. Uh, they call it a restricted driver's license, but essentially what it is driver license for illegal immigrants or undocumented workers, as you could say. Or if you want to go with the common vernacular now, it seems like everything has shifted, especially with the crisis now at the southern border. Rasmussen did a report this last Monday. This is the article, nearly two-thirds the invasion at U.S.-Mexico border. And here's the money quote. Similarly, 80% of Republicans, 55% of Democrats, and 60% of unaffiliated voters say it is at least somewhat accurate to describe the border situation as an invasion of the United States. Most Republicans consider such a description very accurate. So this is a different sort of situation now that on the national front, there is an invasion going on in the southern border, and no matter how offensive it may sound, it is the truth. So this bill actually didn't even it may have gone through one committee and then it eventually got buried. It never came out for a vote. But here you can see who the legislative sponsors here are, and you see here Representative Melissa Durrant. Like in various newspapers, what I was reading, or some other articles, it was primarily Eastern Idaho. Southern Idaho, Eastern Idaho has quite a bit of agriculture, so it makes sense that they are much more reliant on essentially illegal immigrant workers. And just for simplicity, it's Mexican. They're primarily Mexican workers. Now, yes, on one end, it's keep in mind this is a town hall, and she thought the audience would be supportive of this. CUNA, in terms of the voting, in terms of my analysis, most of the voters are within the city of CUNA. So not necessarily farmers in Owyhee County or South Canyon County. Probably much more so in eastern Idaho, you get more of the support. Here you can see in terms of the other sponsors of this, obviously you can see quite a bit of the agricultural production, agricultural processing, manufacturing, and yeah. So what is the issue regarding this? This goes with a larger discussion. What are the main concerns is that even though they say here limitations that can't be used to vote, it's pretty well known that the poll workers, or sorry, the people who manage the voting booths are just volunteers. So, will some slip through the cracks? Probably. And then also there is the concept of, if they enter the country, they're already lawbreakers. So why are you giving lawbreakers, privileges as a citizen? Now what they say here in terms of what the benefits are is that it helps. Okay, why is this good for Idaho? All Idahoans are protected. Proper training for everyone behind the wheel. Safer roads because of licensed drivers. Limited disclosure of personally identifiable information by those that desire privacy. So this is it is a pretty transparent attempt. It'd be nice if in politics if everyone was just transparent on why they're asking for it. It's just there is a shortage of workers, and it would be much easier for the farmers if they could have their illegal immigrant workers be able to drive. Now brings up a second question: is why do they have so many illegal immigrants or working for them? And this will be a different discussion. The Senate actually discussed this when they wrote a letter to Congress and the federal level about urging for a reform, increasing I guess the worker visa program, or some would call it amnesty. I mean, it's not. They say explicitly it's not. I mean, that's a much larger, a different discussion on a different cast. But so this primarily is to show that Representative Melissa Durrant now, or her support for driver's license for illegal immigrants. Now, on the surface level, it's easy to just put it out on political, bashing points. This is a much more complicated issue because I actually see the farmers, and just like the Californians moving into Idaho, this is part of a federal problem dealing with free trade and open borders. So basically, what you're seeing is that the farmers in Idaho have to compete against Mexico, right? And really, what is the competitive advantage that American farmers or American soil, Idaho soil, has over the soil in Mexico or in whatever parts of the world that has fertile soil? So if the soil is the same, I guess you can say temperature, you can say irrigation or the price of water, electricity, those costs, price of fertilizer, what they say, in the dairy industry, what they call them inputs, right? The feed for the cows. So all of those inputs, including labor, affect the final price or what you can sell it as for profitability. And if if personally know farmers, or if you are actually a farmer watching this, it's not it's not glamorous work. It's not a big money grab. It really is. I mean, oftentimes you hear how difficult it is. I think that I heard, if you watch YouTube and you see the various influencer farmers, it's like, how do you get $1 million as a farmer? And the punchline is you start with $2 million. So basically, it's a losing thing, and we know it's very tough for them, and it's very tough for them to have to compete on an even playing field with the Mexican laborers or whatever overseas, much cheaper pricing. So what you end up having to do for the farmers in order to compete, either you need to, on the federal level, you get subsidies. Basically, it's an inherently crony sort of situation for farmers. You got taxes. Their property taxes are much lower. I mean, they get tons of carve outs. Even like for gasoline taxes, they have special diesel, so they don't have to pay diesel taxes. So there's all sorts of carve outs provided to the agricultural industry for them to just make it. And I guess this would be a parallel or larger discussion, because if you try to use the same rhetoric that the freedom or liberty focused conservatives try to do toward the international corporations, like, oh, those fat cats or those crony capitalists, they're just carrying buckets for IACI. Look, IACI is one of the supporters in this, I believe. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, wait. I thought I saw IACI in here. I mean, they're probably. Okay, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna claim that because I don't. For some reason, I thought it was there. But anyway, so it's common to use that sort of language, but it may not necessarily apply in every single case. Like, these farmers are not getting filthy rich, and this is just kind of like putting a Band-Aid to a much larger issue regarding the free trade, like not putting tariffs. Because the labor in Mexico is much cheaper, so they're able to flood the market with much cheaper goods and basically put out of business the farmers, the local farmers in Idaho, unless the government lowers their taxes or basically lowers their input or gives them some kickback. So that's the nature of this battle. And then of course regarding borders, the other solution that they're working on is importing the Mexican labor, right? So you're basically trying to import Mexico or artificially change things to make it equal, and then that has its own repercussions. You're basically, churning Idaho into Mexico. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.